Welcome to The Funniest Thing.
Yeah.
Where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Yes, it does.
I'm Darrell.
I'm Ed.
And we are broadcasting live from CHOBO Studios
In beautiful downtown Van Nuys.
That's right.
Yes.
So, Ed, do you have a reading to kick off this episode?
I do have a reading to kick off this episode. I think Rod send it to us? Our former guest, current friend. Look at this. There's ketchup in my glasses case. If you didn't know this before, you could tune in through YouTube. Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed. The full episodes are there live from CHOBO Studios. Encourage you to do so. If you do tune in right now, you can see there's a piece of art on the front of the desk that Darrell made. This came the day after that open mic, right?
That was the day after you performed at the American Legion Post 43 in Hollywood.
That's right. And I loved it so much that I told you I wanted to buy it, so you put it in a frame for me, and there it is. So I'm not sure where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere to inspire me.
Yes.
Step out boldly, to remember who I am. Today's show is called Who Do You Think You Are? With Jackie Monahan, who's an amazing comedian, someone who lives this stuff. And so Rod sent us this reading, and it's by Foster McClellan. The book is called Thoughts for a Friend. We actually had Foster's daughter, Carla, on the show.
Yeah, we highly recommend this book because it's bite-sized readings.
Yeah.
And you know how Rod got his copy? It was when he joined us at Unity of Santa Barbara.
Oh, wow.
To hear Kathy Norman speak.
Wow.
And a copy was in the lending library. So I said, Ed, I said, Rod, you got to get this book, borrow it, see if you like it. And it's great because it's just little one-page spiritual kick-me-upstairsers.
And this was called An Authentic Fortune Teller. Secretly, everyone would like to go to a fortune teller, but most of us feel that it is difficult to find an authentic fortune teller. And this is so. Perhaps the greatest secret known to man is that we become what we think about. This being true, we have an authentic fortune teller right within us. In a very real way, we can foretell our own future. By watching our thoughts, our feelings, our words today, we can forecast our own tomorrows. It's good to know this truth, isn't it? And whether we believe it or not, it doesn't matter because it works anyway.
Yeah.
Truth is no respecter of persons. We become what we think about regardless of who or what we are. But it's our awareness of this truth that makes a big difference in our life. Let's determine to predict a great future for ourselves by watching our thoughts day by day. We are our own authentic fortune teller.
And that's why this episode gets us to ask the most important question we can ask ourselves on a daily basis, or even in certain circumstances. Right. Who do you think you are? Meaning, what is your opinion of yourself as you move through your day? Because we either shrink or we rise to any occasion based on our opinion of ourselves in that situation.
Yeah.
And then the good news is that, or bad news, is that really is what determines what's reflected back to us.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good news when you look at it through the lens of learning, because we're always learning. I'm doing that with my work right now. My work's been reflecting that back to me, old beliefs I was holding against myself. And before we get into the house cleaning, I just wanted you to share the one thing, because the reason why the fortune telling is important too is because oftentimes we hear the voice of inspiration, but then that voice gets hijacked. And you were saying about fear. Just briefly let us.
Because one of the readings we're going to read today talks about how a lot of times when we forget who we are, and I'll explain it clearly in a minute, when we forget who we are, we have an idea to do something.
Yeah, an inspired idea.
Take that trip, raise your hand, you know the answer. I mean, it could be something in class. It could
be your job. I know I could be doing this. I know I really want to be. And you get those moments where you see it like, yes. The little kid goes, yes.
Or even in something as simple as when I'm drawing, I'll have an inspired idea during the drawing that says, add red. Mm-hmm. But here's the problem. That's when we got to be careful, because then fear jumps in and goes, don't cross that line.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't do that.
Right.
And a lot of people, when they first hear it, they go, yeah, well, how do you know, like, fear is a good thing? I'm not saying fear is totally invalid and shouldn't be listened, but here's the key. We're not talking about the fear that goes, no, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't try to pass this guy.
Right.
Because I think it could be dangerous, or maybe I shouldn't do this or that because it's an obvious self-protecting guide, that type of fear. It's a gentle warning saying, whoa, this is going to protect you. What we're talking about is when we have that joyful, childlike, inspired idea that goes, oh, it would be great to do this, Ed, or it would be great to try this, Darrell. And then it's like my father or my mother or whatever that voice is for you that goes, no, that's not a good idea. That's too dangerous.
And it can come from such a deep place that it can feel like it's reality, it's God. So we really have to know that the truth always feels good. Because even the truth to not get over in a lane rarely comes like, oh my God, you shouldn't get over it. It goes like, this isn't a good time to get over.
It's a gentle warning.
And even that's not even fear. That's like...
Gentle.
That's why I think there's even a difference. Like a loving guide is rarely like. You're right. You wouldn't want to go down the Grand Canyon with this guide that's like, oh my God, guys, you might fall over the ledge right now, but don't worry. If you stay on the, you want the guy who's like, I've been down this a million times.
You're making a good point because that's the voice that lets us know that fear is irrational. Yeah. When it sounds like that.
Right.
And that's why I like to call them heeding gentle warnings, because you're right. It's a loving voice going, I don't think it's a good idea for us to go left right here.
Yeah,
or maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my God, you shouldn't do that.
Right. Well, let's tell everyone how to be a member of the Funniest Thing Club because we want to get more into the readings. We got great mail.
Oh, yeah.
So let everyone know how to become a member of the Funniest Thing Club.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably members and don't realize it, but after hearing this, you'll know you are.
Right. And mind you, we're two guys who really don't like being members of anything.
Yeah, that's why this is a great membership, because there's really no membership fees. There's no meetings to attend.
Yeah, it's a non-member. It's a non-member membership.
Yes, and I know for a fact our guest today is a member because I've known him for a long time. Okay, this is the member of the Funniest Thing Club. We're a group of truth enthusiasts who live each day as ambassadors of God's love. As we consciously radiate love, we perform everyday miracles and experience better than expected outcomes.
Yes.
If you're already living this way or strive to, then you may consider yourself a member.
Yes.
We motivate one another by simply sharing how miracles occurred naturally in our circumstances as the result of living lovingly and expectantly.
Yes. Dude, that is awesome. Well, we want to thank our Patreon folks. Thank you all for jumping on board.
Yes.
Supporting us. It's been awesome. Really helps everything move along. We're just growing and growing, so your contributions help us, and they're also a blessing to you if you're getting benefiting from listening to the show, because it just feels good. I've learned throughout my life, more in my recent life, that how good it feels to circulate money, energy towards things that I enjoy, and seeing how in amazing ways it magnifies and multiplies, and money becomes my friend and it becomes something that I enjoy. It feels so good to circulate money. Like when I got inspired to buy that piece of art from Darrell, it felt good to circulate that money to Darrell. And it's just then it's like, for him it becomes a little blessing from the universe. You're on the right track. Keep doing the thing you love. It's just winning and winning. Everyone is blessed by it.
It really creates a ripple effect of love and generosity. It's not just something I'm doing reluctantly.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I was told to do it. No, it's something I'm doing joyously. It's almost like faith in advance.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving it, and I know that whatever I give is going out, and financially, it's going out, blessing those people, reassuring those people, and then because of the generosity they felt, they feel like sharing more as well.
Right. It's a down payment on my good in the future, really.
That's right. Yes.
And some people go, oh, giving it, if it's not suffering, then it's, God does not. Why would any loving parent of us want us to suffer? It makes no sense. Like, if they're not suffering enough, what the hell? These kids need to suffer. I'm not giving them anything good. No. We live in a love-based, generous universe. So the more we share, more, it just opens up our inner resources to receive more, to give more, to receive more. It's awesome. So let's thank, actually, listeners, if you want to send us anything, go to Funniest Thing, P.O. Box 1312. You can send it to us, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232. We want to thank you just for listening to the show and sharing it. Also, we want to thank you because that just means there's more people out there who want to be awake and happy and generous and get the most out of life, and that makes our world better. Yeah. So the more people who are waking up to this stuff, the better. And we got something from Kirky. Actually, it says, get in the seasonal mood. And if you want to take a look on Facebook, if you go on YouTube, you will see the postcard I'm holding in my hands. It is Darrell, me wearing a Santa suit, and Darrell twisting my ankle. But you'll have to take a look on YouTube to really get the full
Monty.
This is a really good one. It says, and the quote is, I now, guys, get in the spirit. This is, again, a postcard from Kirky. I now clarify my vision, purify my thoughts so that it becomes a mirror reflecting inspiration direct from the secret place in the Most High at the center of my own being. I do this by quiet contemplation, not through strenuous effort, but by learning to fast to all negation and to feast upon the affirmations of spiritual realization. That's from Raymond Charles Barker and Ernest Holmes. It's a daily reader, I found out, and I ordered it. It's funny, there's a stamp on here. It's probably too far away to see, but it's Darrell and I, once again, as a pregnant couple, saying we're expecting greatness.
Wow.
Yes, so let's see here.
I think we got a nice letter.
We do have a letter. We got a great letter from Gabriel Perez.
And these letters that we receive from you folks, just to know, we really appreciate them. They actually become part of the show because you share such great stuff. Yes. We want to share it with everyone.
It's really easy to get stuff to us. If you go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, comment on the videos. We like to read the comments. If you go to DarrellandEd.com, you can contact us through the contact form there. You can message us through Patreon. You can go to our Facebook fan page, Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed, and message us there. There's a lot of ways to get to us, and we'd love to hear from you. So Gabriel Perez said, hi, gents. Hope you're doing well. I was thinking about how you guys are always saying this stuff is easy. When I first heard it, I disagreed. I thought, if it is easy, then why is forgiveness such a tough thing to do? I wrote this whole research page up to prove it to myself one way or the other. The question that occurred to me is, why is unforgiveness different than any other sin I might struggle with? What I came to realize is that it isn't. It might just take me a while to overcome it like any other. As long as I pray and set my intention to do so, God will help me walk it out by faith. If faith is powerful enough to move a mountain, then it can take care of the rest. Then I stumbled upon this verse, Matthew 11:30, spoken by Jesus. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light, which is amazing because that was on my mind as I drove here today. Wait a minute. Jesus said it was easy too? Here's Jesus saying what you guys are saying? So I decided that if it was feeling hard, I was doing it wrong. What a relief.
That is a relief. That's a great affirmation to remind ourselves of. If it's feeling hard, we're doing it wrong. And we're talking about mental tension, right? Mental pressure.
God really is on my side, working with me to transcend situations. When people see me facing down these difficulties of life joyfully and my heart full of love, maybe they'll want what I have. That is what I believe my testimony is. I will be made whole and I can live life and be generous because I live out of the infinite abundance of source and not my limited mind of scarcity. Thank you guys. Keep up the good work. Glad your new studio is working out for you. I hope your holiday season is a blast. Lots of love, Gabriel.
Thank you.
What a great letter. Thank you, Gabriel. As you can see, you're probably listening, feeling inspired by that. So let us know how this stuff's working for you, or if you have questions or anything, send it our way. Elizabeth Washington listened to the YouTube video, We're in the Feel Good Business with Miranda Arier. She said, this was such an awesome show. Love you guys. And Miranda was wonderful. Lois Conklin on Facebook said, great show. Caught it on Friday night. Glad you liked my card and the Leo Biscaglia quotes. Wishing all a Merry Christmas and an amazing New Year. Love from Lois C. We love you, Lois. Grace Deathridge said, thank you, Darrell and Ed. Valerie and team, I love this edition. Joining you there, flying high in the skies. Vicky Carolyn up in Canada said, have a wonderful time. Merry Christmas to you all. Mary Ellen Lavery.
Yeah.
Lavery. Thank you for sharing. What a beautiful and uplifting service. We spoke at the Unity of Santa Barbara
on Christmas Day.
It was incredible.
You can still watch it.
It's on our Facebook page. It's on the Unity of Santa Barbara Facebook page. We had the most, so perfect for Who Do You Think You Are, because the Spirit came through both of us. I kicked down the door with the energy, and then Darrell came through and delivered the goods and brought the house down. I really recommend it.
It was like tag team wrestling.
And you gotta, the reason why I think you'll keep in mind if you watch it that we had nothing we said was planned. Everything I thought I was gonna say, I did not say. But this stuff just reveals itself to us as we go. You'll know what you need to know when you get there. Perfect for lazy guys like Darrell and I. We just put it in God's hands, pack up the wagon, and move along. So Mary Ellen Lavery said, thank you for sharing. What a beautiful and uplifting service. From the hymn song at the beginning through all the speakers, you guys both rocked, to the peace song at the end, which I look forward to singing with you, with my youth choir every Christmas at the First Presbyterian Church of Passaic. It was moving, inspiring, and joyful. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
I am so excited that she wrote that.
I know, me too. You can check out our website again, darrellanded.com. Well, let's thank our chief engineer over here. He built this studio. He engineers the shows. He's part of, actually, the pregame, helping us kind of clarify what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We have a name for that, which I can't mention on the air. But that's a whole show unto itself. I want to thank Indy Fawcett over here at CHOBO Studios.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. Also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening on Spotify, go to the YouTube and hit subscribe. It's a free way to support the show. And we want to get to 1,000 by the end of 2023. And you're going to help us do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go. I love that. And if you want to check out CHOBO Studios, use the studios, go to chobostudios.com. If you want to have Indy edit your reels and all the shorts and things you want for your social media, it's PodShuttle.io, and it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Let's thank Chief Engineer out in Kansas City, Kansas, handling the audio portion of the show, getting it up there where if you're listening on a podcast app. His name is Jeff Comfort, and each week
He takes us
right into the comfort zone. Yeah. Shout out to the prayer line, which is Silent Unity, which I actually pressed play on this morning. Last night, for some reason, I'm like completely healed of like my head and everything. That was some things that were going on, like all this. It was amazing. I woke up, wow, no coffee or anything, and like feeling great. And then this stomach thing, like whatever's going on, it was moving through my stomach. So I called Silent Unity this morning, which is 800-NOW-PRAY, 800-669-7729. They have an app, the letter U, the word pray. I called the number, pressed 2, it was a pre-recorded prayer. Like that's all energy I could muster because I was tired, and I just listened to it. And just listening to the truth just helps us reclaim our divinity and remember who we are, which again is perfect for the show. So the show again is called Who Do You Think You Are?
Oh, now we're getting to
with Jackie Monahan.
This is what we're talking about today, folks.
So what is your opinion of yourself? This is the most important question we must ask ourselves. Our circumstances will always be a reflection of our opinions of ourselves. We know by how we feel about ourselves.
Yes.
The secret to success is realizing that people treat us according to our opinion of ourselves.
To our opinion of ourselves.
They reflect it back to us. It's amazing. Every moment we remember that we are heirs of a loving God, miracles occur. On this episode, Darrell and Ed motivate each other and listeners to stop telling hard luck stories and start telling good luck stories.
Yes.
And then from Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And during the second segment, comedian Jackie Love Your Selfie Monahan joins us to discuss today's reading, New Year, New You. She's going to be in the studio, so again, check out the YouTube video.
Yes, everyone knows I love Jackie Monahan.
We chipped away at these breaths. Let me just read this from Prosperity Now by Mary Catherine McDougall. And this goes with the breaths. This book is so good. Prosperity Now, I highly recommend it. On page 31, The Wonderful Possible Now is the chapter. Let us earnestly question ourselves. Do we really think that there's a set amount for each of us to enjoy and have? Is God actually an arbitrary parent who says, you can have this much, but no more? Do you really think down deep in our heart that there are some things too good for us to desire or have?
Yeah, this is what we do.
Is there a height beyond which we're not to go in our thinking, our desiring, and our asking? Let us be honest. What do we really think?
Yeah.
If we have reservations about our good, about what we can expect, then we can start to correct them. Man, I've been doing a whole lot of that. And because my mind, I think because I've been stepping out boldly, especially related to my job, all those limiting beliefs that I thought, those aren't really, that's no big deal that I'm thinking all that. It really has been manifesting in this job and how I've been feeling about it. So now it's right there in my face. So I've had to go back to basics. Like, what is this stuff we teach? What are the, that's why I'll always be a newcomer to this. I'm always a beginner because I really had to say, what do I read? I had to be simplified. And I go, they say it's all about your thinking. And also it's all about the way you feel.
Yes.
However you're feeling about your thinking. That's the thoughts and plus feelings equals manifestations, equals demonstrations. So I had to look at that and go, well, look at what I'm thinking right now. No wonder I'm feeling terrible. These thoughts that I've gotten so used to, they feel horrible. I don't want to be used to. I want to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. And then I had to realize that I have the authority to say and be and think whatever I want.
Yeah,
I'm not like the victim of some parent in my brain, which is the way I had been acting.
That's right. And we get to give ourselves the permission to step over the Marginal line.
That's right. Whatever it is, we're allowed. You ready?
Yes, yeah. You're going to go first, right?
Okay. Darrell, this is one of Darrell's favorite childhood songs. Although he probably didn't hear this as a child, probably as a grown child.
No, I think they stole it from me.
I gotta say, you are still the most
They
joyful.
heard me as a little kid. Someone recorded me.
That's right. Also, you are the most joyful child I know still. So,
okay.
All right, let's take a deep breath. Whatever it is, I'm allowed. 'Cause I'm a big kid now.
Whatever it is, I'm allowed. 'Cause I'm a big kid now.
You really lean into that.
You gotta lean into it.
I like how you slowed it down.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm allowed.
'Cause I'm a big kid now.
You know what? I'm so glad Jackie's on the show because the thing that I love listening to comedians in cars. I like watching comedians in cars getting coffee. Now I've been watching Hiking with Kevin, the Kevin Nealon show. Because the comedians think the way you and I do.
Yes.
And they're grown people that aren't afraid to think that way.
Or admit it. Admit it.
Yeah.
That's why I love Jackie. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I go, she's just like me.
Right.
I'm not alone. And she's also committed to looking at it objectively and also not letting ideas that conflict with who she wants to be or become get in the way. That's why I get excited.
You got to be like a child to enter the kingdom. And like you said, admit it. But I'm telling you, in environments like in the school district and in corporate places, it's not just they won't admit it. They're afraid to think this way as if it's like bad or it should be like, so that's why people try to monitor their speech so much and how they say it and how, like, all of that is so horrible. It feels so good to just be our quirky selves and let go of this BS nonsense that there's this one way to be.
Yes.
I mean, we read a great thing about normal and about how someone, like, because I've been just disgusted lately when I realized, like, the testing of kids in special education is based on normative tests. So they're pushing people into a box based on what's normal. And we just read.
Because the word original.
It's not scientific.
No, they
terrible.
say this is the problem. We encourage people, you should be yourself. But then on the other hand, we're testing and judging people in careers, in school, and in life based on norms.
Right.
You should be doing it this way if you want to succeed.
Right.
But the thing is this. Originality, by definition, you can't be original and be normal. Originality is abnormal.
That's right. And,
it's always abnormal.
That's
right. So you got to get comfortable with being yourself.
It's so twisted because you don't even hear it, but like there's a huge push towards like what do they call it? Like research-based, data-driven stuff. But all of that is based on normalizing things, which is crazy. In the past, like the great leaders were the ones who encourage you to go beyond anything that's normal, to be yourself, to do what had not been done. So now if people are giving authority to something that is normalizing people, that is not the way we're going to get where we need to go, because that's all that's going to keep doing is replicating the problems that are already there, because that's what's become normal. We need people that are not normal, that are creative, that are original. And that's not even a judgment. That's just this term normal is not something to strive for.
And we're not saying we need people like there's only a few people that can do it. No, we're talking about you.
That's right.
Meaning all of us are creative.
It's like
but we forget, and this is what this show's all about, because we have the joyful, like, hurrah, yeah, I want to do that, or I can do this. And it could be simple things. We're talking about little things even throughout your day where you have a hunch to do something, but then mommy slips in your brain and goes, no, we don't have time for that. But that's the real you. That other voice is the one that's going, no, that's not normal. What are people going to think? Or whatever the answer is. So we're saying with this, who do you think you are in this new year? Ask yourself many times this new year, wait a minute, who do I think I am? Meaning in a healthy way. What's my opinion of myself? And this morning, I was about to listen to Affirmations by Bob Baker. Yeah, it's a podcast that anyone
can. He's on YouTube. He's on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And there's some of those that are really good. I listen to one of them almost every day and repeat the affirmations. It's Bob Baker.
Yeah, very simple, easy to access.
He's the one that I used with my kids over the summer.
Yes.
Well, they're not kids. They were young adults in that special needs program that turned out to be the highlight of the summer, which I had mentioned. It's transformative. So go ahead.
So on this one, he was talking about these affirmations are to help build self-confidence. And he said everyone wants or seeks or desires to be self-confident, more self-confident.
Right.
So I go, wait a minute, let me think about this, because that as a kid, people go, you need to be more confident in yourself. But there was nothing there inside. It was always like, ugh. So it felt like, and I think most people look at it, from people I've talked to, look at it as, like you mentioned on our phone call as we were driving here, that it's willpower of the mind to try to, it's willing my mind to make myself something I'm not right now.
Right.
Or, you know, what does it say? Fear is doing the courageous thing, even if you're fearful.
Yeah, and it's a lot about, I'm so good at packing the musket, I never admit when I'm having trouble or I'm scared.
Yeah, and then boom, I get it right in the kisser and I'm out cold.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Let's think of what the etymology of these words, and it brings relief, and it's something we can all attain.
Ooh. Indy's Hot Pocket.
Sorry, my Hot Pocket's done.
What are you eating today, buddy?
It's pepperoni.
Whoa, that's Italian.
Classic, yes.
So I thought about the etymology of the words. So self-confidence isn't something we have to make.
Right.
And I just felt all this peace when I came. Self-confidence, just look at these words. It means myself with faith.
Confidence.
That's all it is. Myself, yourself with faith.
Right.
Well, what could that mean? It doesn't even have to be a religious faith. It could be me with the faith, or with the belief that all things are going to work out great. Yeah. Me with the faith that I'm going to be met by someone friendly at the service station.
Right.
It's my faith that when I show up, things are going to work out smoothly, not the way that I'm fearing. That's what self with faith. So that's self-confidence. It's that simple.
You know, Jesus' name is basically like a sign for a store about self-confidence, because it means I am will deliver. Like the Yeshua means I am will deliver.
Yeah.
So if you want to, like, that's the metaphysical meaning of Jesus, of the Christ within us, is having faith that the I am will deliver. And life will deliver.
Yeah, and the I am is just reminding myself of that fact, meaning that's the self-confidence. It's my I am, meaning me.
Yeah.
Now, instead of assuming the worst, I'm going to assume the best.
Right.
Or even you could ask yourself a question, like, if my brain doesn't jump onto that right away, I'll go, what wonderful thing is going to come of this? And your brain, when you ask it a question, starts to move to the answer. So my mind gets affirmative instead of trying to tell myself. Like if I can't grab the desire to believe that something good might happen, just go, you know, what wonderful thing's going to come of this? And I start going, oh, yeah, I might meet somebody. Or, you know, anything can happen. Yes, and then it does.
That's claiming authority.
That's why we want you to ask, who do you think you are? Because your circumstances will always reflect that.
Maybe we should read Emmett because we got to get through. This show is cooking along, man.
No,
and I was going to say, we're all confident in something. It's just what are we putting our confidence in? Because we're all, when we think, oh, nothing's good, then we're putting our faith in this belief that nothing's good. When we put our faith in whatever we say, that's what we're putting our faith in. That's the important thing. We're all putting our faith in something. And I've been lately having to like give a kick in the behind to this part of me that's like, and I'm like, no, you know, Ed, you don't even have to be thinking about that at all right now. In fact, because I've been working with myself, I'm starting to hear myself. And the other day I was like, wait, it's easy to get a new job. This is not hard. What am I thinking? And it changed my whole, because that part of me was going, well, my career, I've invested 25 years, benefits, And I just said, dude, no. Just think about this. It's easy to get a new job. Everything's working out. And all that other stuff, just hurl that in the fire, dude. It's horrible.
Yeah, I remember you reminded me of something else. We read this thing about people. They did this study, and the people that refused to leave their jobs that they resisted leaving for fear that they might not find something better. A test of 20,000 men. Yeah. Remember, over a 9-year period.
Right.
Remember I read that?
Yeah, you were telling me about
this. And the doctor discovered that those men that refused to leave based on there's probably not something better out there, or this is, you know, I'm taking care of my responsibilities, that they had a 25% morbidity rate over the other guys.
Wow.
Over like they did this test.
Well, that's what I always say about, you don't have to look around too much at the teachers that have been like willing their way through this horrible environment. And they're like they at one time they were like this vibrant, amazing person. And they still it's in there, but sometimes it gets shielded by these like faces that like you could just see the pain they're carrying, you know, and they're like stuck in that, and they're like hunched up, you know, like, wait, what? I don't want anything to do with that. I mean, I love that, but that's not for me.
Remember when we found out? I don't want to mention any names. Was only like 4 years older than me.
I know, it's crazy. Ed
thought she was old enough to be my grandmother.
Why I'm like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I'm up in that plane. I'm just rolling out the back cargo bay right now. Like, all right, I'm out of here.
All right. So just to wrap this segment up, this is from Emmett Fox, and this is the key to the whole thing. Today's show, who do you think you are? And this is the great news, folks. It's right here in this sentence. The truth that will set you free is right here. And it's from December 27th. This is the truth that will set you free.
Yeah.
Thought is the real causative force in life, and there is no other. You cannot have one kind of mind and another kind of environment. You cannot change your environment while leaving your mind unchanged. This is the real key to life. If you change your mind, your conditions must change too. Your body must change. Your activities must change.
100%.
Your home must change. The color tone of your whole life must change. And by him saying must change, he means correspond with.
Yeah.
And a Bible quote is, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's Romans 12, verse 2. And let's say you're going, yeah, but I can't rid myself of all these things and just think positive. Well, we agree. Ed and I go, oh my God, that's too much too. So how do you begin? And where do you begin? And what if you don't know what to start with? Well, here's the other great news, and it's right here. I'm going to give it to you. This is the thing to think of, and everything will correspond. Everything will improve.
Yes.
Your career, whatever it is, and this is it. It's from December 31st. The way of love, the way of love upon which you may step at this moment, if you like, requires no formal permit, has no entrance fee, and no conditions whatever. You need no expensive laboratory in which to train, because your own daily life and your ordinary daily surroundings are your laboratory. You need no reference library, no professional training, no external acts of any kind. All you need to begin steadfastly to reject from your mentality everything that is contrary to the law of love. So when we dwell upon love, or we could think of ourselves, if I want my conditions to improve, I am just going to set the intention that I'm going to be an ambassador of God's love in this situation.
Yeah, that's right, because we are love.
Yes.
You don't have to make a new you. This is what I'm discovering.
Yes.
I'm just allowing myself to be the me, which is love, and refraining from doing all the mental crap, which is just like an invisible cage that I've been keeping myself in. Yourself is already there. You may have forgotten, or you may have but it's already there. So the way of love just allows it to come out. It's not like, no, I'm just being someone who's a servant to anyone else because I don't matter. No, it's I'm letting my whole self be
yes.
me as I serve others. It opens more doors for me to be me, because we are all love. So coming up next, comedian Jackie Love Yourself Monahan joins us to discuss today's reading, New Year, New You. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed, live from CHOBO Studios.
Well, we made it to the second half, Ed.
Oh, baby.
Of the episode, Who Do You Think You Are?
Who do you think you are?
With Jackie Monahan.
Jackie Monahan is here in the studio. How are you, Jackie?
I'm fantastic. Yes.
And you just told us you're going to be somewhere tonight, New Year's Eve. Where are you going to be?
The Comedy Store.
See, this is real comedian stuff.
Yeah.
I could be on stage. The show starts at 10:30, so I could be on stage at midnight. That would be really fun.
Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing that she's here with us, because she just performed last night. She slept 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Came here.
Some people only get 15 minutes of fame, but you get 15 minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Let me read this to you by Eric Butterworth. Celebrate Yourself. This is a great book if you've never read it. And it says, this goes with the show. Think the kind of thoughts that will produce the kind of conditions you want to see manifest in your life. Know that you are created in God's image likeness with limitless potential to do and do well all that needs to be done. You may have accepted weakness as the starting point. After all, I'm only human. But you're not only human. You are human and divine, and the divine is enclosed in the shell of the human like the egg in the nest. You must hatch out, and you can. Weakness is habitual because your thought about yourself has been habitually negative. There's no such thing as inherent weakness, only deep-seated, subconscious patterns of limitation. But underneath are the everlasting arms. Strength is the reality of you. It is the divine level with which you need to identify whenever you are tempted to lean. That's what you're talking about. Love, the divine level. We need to re-identify with it. You can be free. You can overcome. You can get rid of any and all crutches, not by willpower, but by the outforming process of consciousness. It's not will, but willingness. God wills it. So say yes to it.
Yes.
I knew you'd say yes to it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking about how the heck you are now on stages at the Comedy Club on New Year's Eve. I mean, that must take some level of saying yes to the universe. And so how does that all work out for you? How do you stay in the yes zone?
How do I stay in the yes zone? I always want to be the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. And so it's saying yes to me all the time. And it's changing my definition of fun from before, when fun to me was really hurting myself. So now fun is taking care of myself.
I think I understand I understand what you're saying. Fun for me, my brain thought it was a form of escape. But it was behavior and ideas of situations in my environment that actually was hurtful to me. I didn't know it. I just felt bad. But then I would look for more fun, which meant more escape. And it usually came in the form of running away, whether it was taking a drink or taking a trip or doing something extreme that really didn't help me, benefit me.
Right. God downloads things to me once every 5 years. Right. And one time I was talking to God, and I was like, you have to love me more now that I'm doing better stuff, because now I'm doing what I ought to do when I ought to do it, and before I was doing what I wanted when I wanted.
Right.
And the download I got was, no, you love yourself more. And I was like, and I knew that wasn't from me.
Yeah.
And it was like a voice and a download at the same time. It wasn't really a voice. It was just an immediate knowing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought that, because I really thought doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it was loving myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doing what I need to do when I need to do it. That's loving myself.
Right. And doing what I'm inspired to do, what I'm
Right.
inspired to do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what because I was thinking about this too. This isn't like a pressure thing, because if it was like pressuring myself to do these things, then that wouldn't be loving myself either. But I realized the other night, because I've been teaching in public schools for 25 years, and the listeners know I've been claiming to the universe this is the last go round for me, like, because I've been doing this show and we're talking about all this stuff, and that was like this place where I really haven't been loving myself, because I've been like dying over it, like in many ways. And the other night I just realized, wow, when I work with God, I don't have to pressure myself, because I've had to pressure myself to keep going to do this thing. And I've been working like my tail off to not blame it, but it's just still
right.
So I realized, wow, because we do the show, we put so much into it, but it doesn't feel like pressure at all.
Like work.
It's inspiration.
Absolutely.
And I get more done here in amazing ways because it's inspiration. Pressure is actually when I'm pushing back my real self, the pressure, and then trying to, while I'm holding back everything I am, I'm trying to get everything done for other people. It's really people pleasing.
Yes.
I heard this the other day. Like, people pleasing is when I can't be compassionate with myself. All this stuff, I saw someone, our former guest Miranda Arier.
Oh, right.
She posted this little thing, and I just saw like 3 sentences on the story. I go, oh my God, that's what I've been doing. So much about my work has still been, because it's so service oriented, but it's so easy for that to just turn into people pleasing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but when we work with God, like the way you're talking about, it's inspiring. I love that thing you just said, that it used to be fun to hurt myself. And it's like, the hurt kind of always comes after, right? Like, I'll do something fun, but then there's a price to pay. But the fun, I like what you said, it's fun to take care of myself.
Yeah, because there's no price to pay.
There's no price to pay.
It's
a reward. You get a reward for it.
And then you get more to give to other people, too. So it's like this constant giving and expansion thing.
Yeah, well, God please instead of people pleasing. God pleasing.
Wow. Especially since God is in here, right?
Yeah.
You were just dancing around. What was the thing we said that you loved?
Yeshua.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned Yeshua earlier, and I was watching, and I was just like, I just found out Yeshua 2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago. You did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like shouting it everywhere I go.
That's so crazy, because we just heard that from Blair like 2 weeks ago.
But this is the real coincidence too.
Yeah.
The fact that you're here today.
That's right. We were supposed to have the Krabby Mystic, which is a nun from Boston.
Who's really funny.
Who got sick, so she couldn't come.
Oh, wow.
And we were sitting there going, who's it going to be?
And I go, there's got to be someone.
And then I just started looking through the past guests.
Right.
And your name, like, like it popped out. Like,
Yeah.
And then we almost were like, well, we're still not sure. And then we were like, we said, let's just walk away. But then we reached out to you, and this worked out perfectly.
And then Yeshua.
Oh, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy.
I like what we're talking about, and I it just happened the other day on the 30th. So that was yesterday.
Huh?
Okay, so we're recording this on the 31st of December. So yesterday, I was having these joyful nudges to do a drawing.
Right.
And this is anything. It's the same joyful nudge. I felt it come up, but then there was a part of me that's like kind of like, well, we got some other things to do, and then we'll get to that. You know what I mean? I got some other things to do, and then we'll get to we're gonna do that. But I was doing the morning routine when this came up, and I know it. Like, there's no denying it now. I know when that other voice is being dismissive to the real me, that little child.
Right.
And I know a lot of people here in the past, the inner child. Like, it got to the point people were talking about inner child so much that then people started bagging on the inner child.
Aww.
But I'm just here to say that it is a real thing. It's the child within that really is our guide. And I think that's what, even in the Jesus telling the story, let the children, be like this child. Means in essence, listen to that child that's talking to you inside you.
Yes.
So I decided I'm not going to deny that. I am going to be like an encouraging parent and treat the child within. This was yesterday to just, we're going to go for this now. We can do those other things later. And I wrote an affirmation for myself because this is what I felt during the process. And then, of course, I acted on it.
Right.
And something amazing, I drew something that I felt was amazing.
Right.
For me, it was like, woo! And I was so high. And then the other chores that I was going to put before this, like you said, no. You hold back that joyful self because we got to do these things to please that adult in me first.
Right.
So those things got done. Like easy because I took care of the real me. So this was the affirmation I wrote for myself. Maybe this will help listeners. And I wrote before I acted on this. So this is after my meditation. And I decided I'm going to listen to this child. I wrote, I am vitally alive because I could already anticipate from doing this enough that when we do listen to that and we honor that child and go with that, you get like energized. Like when we do this, like all the work we put in the show doesn't feel like work because we're energized.
Right.
So I wrote, I am vitally alive because I let my child guide me and I step right over the lines of intimidation because that's what my mind does. It goes, no, we got these other like it's an intimidating idea.
Yeah, it's what's funny about we talked about this with my mother because you just said no.
Yeah.
But this is why fear is the worst because first it goes no, I don't think it's. But then if you don't go along with it, then all of a sudden its true face comes out. I told you not to. You know what I'm saying? It's such a yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm a vitally alive because I let my child guide me, and I step right over the lines of intimidation as if they are meaningless.
Yeah.
And I enter a new and wonderful realm of delightful success.
Delicious.
Yeshua style.
Delightful success. Yeshua.
So how did you become a comedian? That's amazing.
Ooh la la.
Or how did you realize you were a comedian? How did you let that happen?
How did you let that happen?
How did you believe in it? How did you know it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was doing crazy things to my mother as a young child. Like I would be at the food store and she'd be like, Jacqueline, pick out your cereal. And I'd be like, just don't hit me again. And and she couldn't, and I was really little, and she couldn't like defend herself. Like there was nothing she could do. She was just like
you got me.
And yeah, I would do all sorts of things, and I would run up to people that weren't my father and just be like, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," just to embarrass her. And she would be like, and I loved doing it. And she never said I was a comedian, but I could hear her telling her friends the stories, and they would all laugh and be like, "She's a comedian." And I was like, "What is a comedian?"
Wow.
And I was like 3 or 4.
Wow.
So then in high school, I was voted funniest girl in school. And then I was in someone asked me to be in a comedy troupe in Rhode Island, in Providence.
Wow.
It was really fun. It was a great comedy troupe. And then, but I never thought it was anything that I could do. I just, even though I saw people doing it, it was like, no, everybody where I was from was a teacher, or nobody was a comedian.
Yeah.
And then, and I was dating somebody who was not encouraging me. And then I left him for a woman. Thank you. And she made me do stand-up.
Wow.
I met her in Rhode Island, and she moved me to New York.
What a difference.
And was like, the exact opposite of this guy.
Wow.
And yeah, and she made me do stand-up. And I really thought, I'm just going to do it once and then find what I'm going to do. And I did it once, and I never stopped.
Wow.
Like, a lot of people stop for a little while. And even during the pandemic, I'm like, okay, I can't go out.
Right.
Like, I'm finally going to just chill. And then people right away were like, let's do Zoom shows. I'm like, okay. Like, I never
so the
stopped.
invitations just kept coming.
Right.
how did you write the material for the first time you did it and not having done it before? Like,
Oh my
how
God.
did you approach
Wait
it?
till you hear my first joke I ever wrote.
Oh, yeah.
let's hear it, folks.
Wait till you hear it. And I didn't write it. It just came to me. I was working in a restaurant somewhere. This is before I ever even thought of doing stand-up.
Right.
Okay? So this just came to me. Get ready.
Yeah.
The Virgin Mary never got laid, but Jesus sure got nailed.
Oh, my God. That's the first one.
And that's the first one. It just came to me. Like, I never thought I would do that on
This is
stage.
someone who loves Jesus, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Well, at that time, I really didn't believe in Jesus. I
Right.
went to Catholic school, and I'm like, this is all fake.
Right.
And then
They chased the belief in Jesus, right? They scared the belief in Jesus right out of you.
it wasn't until like recently that I was like, oh, maybe Jesus was a real thing. But just like what we were talking about today, like
Right.
thinking that God is watching me and hates everything I do.
Oh, my God.
And,
It's
like,
hell for me. Yeah, same.
Come
I was raised Catholic.
on. I was forced that. I
Yeah.
did 12 years of Catholic school.
Yeah.
I did. I acted like it was jail. Like, how many years did you do? But yeah, it was.
Right.
I'm completely against religion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, not against. I'm not against anything, but it's just not for me.
Right.
But I didn't realize that you could separate God from religion. And once I did that, my life just blew up.
That's so amazing. You know, once I was at a point, because I was raised Catholic, then I started waking up, and that was not really, like, once you have like the real wake up kind of thing, it's like,
Right.
I was trying to talk to like a priest, and he was like, I thought he was going to be super excited, but there was like, no, like, and no one I was meeting was like excited and like was kind of into like the way it was starting to happen for me. And then at some point I realized, I just thought, I don't care if Jesus is real or not. I can't even think about that. I don't even know what that means anymore. I still was practicing the principles and learning different places. And then one day some guy goes, you should really get in touch with Jesus. And I was like, and it was someone out of the blue, and it was, I had been praying and, living this way. And then I was telling you one day, and then you handed me a book, and it said, Jesus Calling. Like, as if you handed me the cell phone, and it was like, oh, Jesus is calling. So I took the call, because I got a lot out of my Catholic upbringing, because I loved hearing about this guy who was like fearless and all the same kind of jerks I didn't like in school and stuff. He would go up to them and go, you know why you're wrong. And then he would like blow them away and they just walk away. I think I dreamed to be able to go up to my teachers and be like, and then they would leave me because I hated school too, and I was always getting in trouble. So I love that element of Jesus. So it's been so cool for me to find a way to reconnect with the part of me, like you're saying, the child in me that just used to like hearing these stories about love and like, with love outwitting the guys who thought they were so witty. I loved all of that. Yeah. So it's really great for me to have like a connection with Yeshua again. Yeah.
Yeshua. And they've been talking about Mary Magdalene too, that she was like more important than they're believing, like were believed to think that she was. And I'm like, wait, but she was a prostitute.
Right.
And I like, is that true? I don't know. I have to study more about it.
We gotta.
But talk about
I need
slut
to
shaming.
study more about that.
Talk about not slut shaming. Like she's supposed to be just when I just learned about Yeshua, they were also talking about Mary Magdalene, and she was like just as important as Yeshua.
Right. That's what they say. Huh?
And I was just like, my mind's blown. And then I'm like, and it's just funny with slut shaming.
Well, I think like you're saying with religion, a lot of stuff, They implemented these unlivable rules along the way that they're not for the highest good of the people. Right. They were for like controlling and and so then all the narrative of what the message of Christ was had to change to fit these weird rules that were being put in place, and then it just became something that's like this. None of this makes any sense.
The complete opposite. They turned it into the complete. They did a good job. Doing the most horrible thing ever.
Right, right.
They did it well.
Well, that's what I kind of think of like when I look at public school now, because I've always been like I can't do like a lukewarm thing in anything I've ever done. I've always been. Even as a kid, I'd yelling things at the top of my lungs. I just couldn't hold it in. Maybe because I was born in New York and I was 5 when we moved out here, but I just couldn't. I still can't hold it in. And like public schools have become, because of all these things that are being implemented, maybe to cover their ASS, so it's twisted what education is. It's turned it exact opposite of what I believe.
It's all about suppression instead of expansion.
It's about normalizing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
it's
suppress,
not about
suppress.
And I'm working in special ed, man. I love these. I'm only there because I love the kids. I see that they're amazing. So I don't want to normalize. So it's but what is being asked. And I've gotten really good at being like the Jedi who kind of gets it done, even though all this, and somehow makes it look like it's this. I don't want to do any of that juggling of that anymore, because education to me has become the exact. I want to be talking to people about how, if anyone asks me, dude, this education system is going to be gone. In 20 years, it will be gone.
Right.
It is so obsolete, and it's not helping people become who they are. Anything like that's going to be. I would rather be voicing that and just see what happens, because I feel better about that.
Right, do it.
Yeah,
I love people empowering other people not to follow you, to be their own leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you have something inside you as a comedian, right? It just has to come out.
It has to.
It has to. And that's what I have too. It has to come out. And like, people could take it or leave it, but I'll feel better at the end of the day letting it out, right?
Absolutely.
Like, and then I'm even a better person, because I'm even more understanding of, and I'm more tickled by life, you know?
Right. Yeah. Tickled by life.
Yes.
That's great.
Tickle me, Jesus.
Well, tickle me, Jesus.
Well, that's the real meaning, of the origin of the word discipline.
Yeah, I love this.
It doesn't mean will yourself to be a better person or put yourself in a situation where you're forced to behave.
Right.
Like I tried to do it by joining the military. It's all there, but we don't see it until someone points it out, which I like that kind of learning. I love the learning where I think I knew something, but then I find out, holy cow, I didn't even know the best of it.
Right. I didn't know the best of it.
Yeah, and it's
so
like
good.
Discipline. It's obvious now that it comes from the root disciple. And it doesn't mean necessarily a Christian. It means simply follow the loving leader within you. Following the loving guidance.
Tickle little Jesus in you, Yeshua.
Yeah. Well, you think about Christy and Christian, it means anyone who follows themselves, because the Christ is a term for our true self within us. That everyone has. So, so it really, that's why one time when I realized the same night that Je suis, because I took French, we were meditating in this metaphysical Bible study. And the Ken Gray had said, Jesus means I am. And I had heard that, right? But I always thought...
Literally.
Yeah, but I always thought...
French.
I had heard it, but it never connected. But while we were meditating, all of my French came back to me, and I saw J-E, je, I, suis, S-U-I-S, I am. And in my mind, it came together.
So cool.
And I was like, whoa. And then when I went home, I was doing the dishes... And I swear, this is the craziest thing. I felt like my mind went back to a cave where the guy, whoever wrote these teachings, some bearded guy, he and I had this cosmic laugh. I got the joke that anyone who says, I believe in Christ, is saying, I believe in who I am.
Who I really am.
And who I really am. So even if they don't know they're getting it.
Right.
They're getting it.
They're getting
this
it.
thing to get people to say, I believe in who I am.
I believe in this girl.
Yeah.
Last night I had a great realization that I just was like, I get to be me for eternity. Yeah. I get to be with myself for eternity. There's nothing, nothing can go wrong. Wow. I get to be with me for eternity.
Wow.
That's a great
You know what? Just a couple minutes ago while you were speaking, it's funny you say that. Because I always feel like I take whatever someone else is in their energy.
Yeah.
I think we get inspired by that, and I just thought to myself, I'd rather be me and be wrong at the end of my life than be acting like other people and be wrong about that.
Yeah.
I would much rather be me and be wrong.
We were just saying at the break with you when we were talking about experiences that we thought would be great. If only you were saying, if only I was living in a wealthy place, married someone rich.
Right.
This is the old way we used to think. And then afterwards, I remember I just said, oh, man, I'm so much happier just being with my mind and my life.
Yeah, you said that. That's right.
It's it's the truth. Yeah. Once you get it, you realize that whenever I feel bad, it's because I'm comparing myself to something other than what I am.
Wow.
And it just knocks it. But once I embrace holy cow, my life really is. It's like being Scrooge the morning after, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love my life.
Right.
What was I
Right.
thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah,
What
what was I thinking?
Yeah. That's so funny because when you said it in there, because I woke up this morning and I've been really reactivating parts of myself. I mean, like 25 years I've been teaching. And the whole time there's a part of me that's been like, I hate this, right? Like, and I've been like treating that as if it's like an illness I have, like, like I dealt with,
syrup.
whatever, So when you said that earlier, before I was high on Yeshua, I almost died in my chair because I was like, these two are living their lives and I'm screwed. Like, yeah, I'll never. But now that I'm like re-elevating, now I feel it in a joyful way, because I'm like coughing up. Because there's a part of me that I hated school when I was there, and now I'm like, that part of me is like,
chose to go there for a living.
Recently, I started laughing at myself. I told it to my wife. I go, do you realize I've always hated school, and I've somehow started. I mean, I learned a lot from it, but the part of me that hated it then, still, it's like, I don't care about any of it. I don't care about any of it.
That's a real Mama B virtue thing.
I
Do
know.
something you really don't like, and you are going to go to heaven.
What about being yourself completely at the job to see if they hire you?
Yeah, right. No, that's what I've been trying to do.
But,
that's what I've been. Yeah, that's what I'm doing this year. I told my buddy I'm going to be the worst teacher in that way.
But the best teacher.
Yeah, that's what we
exactly.
mean.
That's the
best.
paradox. That's right.
I like the best worst.
Yes.
The best. I'm the best worst at a lot of things.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm the best. I'm going to
yeah.
let myself be the
Well,
best worst.
I'm going in 2 days, so I'm going to double down on the best worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just stream Yeshua from
yeah.
morning to.
what's crazy
homes.
is, I mean, I've been doing. I've worked I've seen miracles work through me because of this very thing. It's just now, I'm like ready to. Okay, like this training I've been under, it's
Right.
like it's time to, and I've developed a lot of. I wouldn't have been able to leave it before because I didn't have the tools, the
Right.
support around me, the ideas. So it's just due time, and so it's fun actually to be able to give that other part of me the voice to just say instead of like, let me take a breath and be myself. I've been doing that for so long now, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna take all this into there on if I end up going to school on Tuesday ever again. So I'm excited to see what happens with all of this.
Well, now that we're coming to the wind up, can you read the?
I would love it.
The New Year, New You from 19. What year is that? We got an oldie but goodie there.
1931.
Oh,
that
yeah.
can't be right.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? By the way, now I'm gonna tell people. I've been the best worst teacher for 25 years.
Yes.
Because it's true. This has been going on for this whole
Yes.
time. I've been killing it. I mean, the families love me. The kids miracles are happening. Even the stuff I don't like, those people, because I do it with love, they are like, they say I'm
Right.
great at that part.
Right.
So I like this though. It's liberating because it's this paradoxical thing to be able to say best worst.
Best worst.
Yeah.
It is the best because every one of those movies we love,
Yes.
where the guy finally just says, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go in there and be myself. I don't care if they fire me. And remember, he ends up being the most revered. He ends up getting plucked out of that position.
Yeah.
And he becomes, something incredible.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is like the metaphor for, you got to just say, screw it. I'm just going to be me. And I don't care. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what
Let's see
happens.
what happens. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. If you don't, you stop rejecting yourself.
Yeah, that's what
That's
it
it.
And
is.
believing that you're never going to be rejected again because you're never going to reject yourself. So I'm just going to go through life
That's the thing.
accepting myself completely and see what happens.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. What do we
All
got?
right, ready?
Oh, there it is, 1931.
1931. I refuse to think of myself as the child of evil, sin, disease, or adversity. This is from 1931. Okay. What is your opinion of yourself? Do you think of yourself as a child of misfortune or as a son of God? Are you an heir to disease or an inheritor of perfect health? Remember that you identify yourself in life with the things that you are keeping with you, what you think of yourself to be. Instead of thinking of yourself in a negative way, try thinking of your divine sonship, daughtership, childship. Do you think that would rob Jesus, Yeshua, of something. Yeshua was a man who became conscious of his Christliness, his divine sonship, just as you need to be conscious of yours, and can be. We too have power to become the sons of God. A son of God is neither unholy nor unhealthy, but is the expression of the holiness and healthiness of indwelling spirit. You are born of God, a child of masculine or feminine, regardless of what you consider yourself to be. Your opinion does not change God's idea of you. You only limit yourself and delay the time of your coming into full consciousness of your divine sonship. Eventually, your full sonship will manifest. Such is God's decree for you. Woo!
Wow.
Yes.
Get rid of the limits. Be the best worst of yourself you can be.
Do you do morning reading or anything like this?
Oh, yeah.
I just want people to hear that because you bring such great energy. I think some people assume, oh, these people are like Darrell and Ed and Jackie. They're always like this.
No, much work goes into it. Much energy.
That's what we all say. Yeah, but it's energy well spent.
I love
because
it.
we love what we become.
I was just in a talking to somebody who they wake up. It's so funny. They wake up happy every day, and I was like, oh, so jealous. I really don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up and it even takes me a while to remember God, even though I
same.
want
Same,
the first thing to do is to remember God. But I do wake up now, and I always journal. I try to catch my dreams. I find if I catch my dreams, I feel good.
Yeah.
And then, because then I can identify where my feeling's coming from.
Right.
So I try to catch my dream, and then I write just garbage, and then I write bullet point funny things that happened the day before.
Oh, wow.
I got it from David Sedaris. Have you guys ever read David Sedaris?
No, but I know who he is.
He has 2 books I highly recommend. Well, all his books are fantastic, but I specifically love his diaries. He has 2. One's called Theft by Finding. The other one's A Carnival Snackery. But Theft by Finding is, you see him being dirt poor and just abused by gay bash, his not being able to pay his bills, to his rise, and he gets sober during it. But it's just, he's never this horrible thing happened to me today. He's just today people threw rocks at me again. Today, he just states it. And I was just that's the answer to everything. So I just made, and not yesterday. I'm at so I started doing it a little bit over a year ago, writing down every day what the funny things that happened the day before. And just in bullet points like David Sedaris does. And it's so fun because now I can go back and see all the funny things.
Oh, wow.
And because the way I look at life is so different from everybody else.
Right.
But if I don't write it down, I forget it.
Yeah.
So I have to write it down. And and I love going back and laughing at it. Yeah.
Well, it's a way of appreciating it because what you're saying is I do that too. If I don't write it down, I don't get to appreciate it because it kind of dissipates. And just this morning, I was thinking, the past year, and I usually jot down in one of my little reading books some of the miracles that happened the preceding year that I can remember. I started thinking, can I remember anything this year? Look at all the good stuff that happened last year or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, because the way our minds work in the morning. But then I started going, holy cow, we weren't in this studio last year. And I didn't sell any paintings. I mean, I didn't even have an art exhibit.
Right.
And then I started thinking of all these, then little things and things I forgot about start coming to mind.
Right.
And that's really appreciating ourselves and our life. It's not for bragging purposes. It's just so I can get centered in, holy cow, what have I been dismissing?
Right.
Unconsciously dismissing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. And the little things are just as big as the big things. They really are. They're almost even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the studio's great, you guys.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
well, we got something of a little thing. We dug something up.
Well, let me say one last thing.
Yes.
Because I just had a good revelation. Because you're talking about self-rejection. And that's what has been definitely the most painful thing about my job is that when I'm sitting in the past, been sitting in there, and there's all this stuff in my mind starts going, I should be doing That's kind of why I want to get out of that mental atmosphere, because I also want to grow so that it doesn't, I'm always using it as growth so it doesn't affect me.
Right.
But it's just, some part of me is just feeling like, oh man, maybe it's just time to scoot out, because it just keeps triggering the self-rejection. And it's the same environment from which he was born. So something about that and hearing about that, I really think, like hearing it clearly, I think is going to help me to continue to unravel myself from all of this. Because, I mean, that's the message I always want to give to kids anyway as a teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Is to be yourself. Like,
Right.
and to be a voice to them in that environment. Like, this is all nonsense. Like you said, trust me. In that story from Jesus recently, just trust me. Be yourself.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
Don't listen
It
to
actually
them.
says that clearly. It's like the one verse that's almost like in perfect contemporary English, where he's telling the leader of the house, because everyone's squawking, oh, this is, like in the district or in your office, they're all saying, oh no, this isn't going to work. What's the use? Forget it. No one, and the leader's almost going, don't say anything, don't do anything. And Jesus goes up to the leader, which is the leader within us.
Right.
Because we're the leader of our house.
Yeah, our voice has authority in our life.
And he's teaching us to not listen to all these other voices we picked up or how we feel in that moment, like rejecting ourselves. He goes, don't listen to them. Just trust me.
Yeah.
That's what it literally says.
I love
Don't
it.
listen to them. Just trust me.
that.
This is gonna turn out a lot better. Just trust me and do that inspired thing. Don't reject yourself and watch.
Yeah.
I love that.
Magic's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, because I don't even want to be hating school or anything like that anymore.
Right.
I'm just giving myself permission nowadays, though, to drain that bag, because I've been carrying that bag of...
Sounds like a colostomy bag.
Yeah, it's a colostomy bag. Throwing that... Yeah. Yep.
Leave it at the district.
Drain that bag.
Drain that bag.
That bag.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm ready to shine, baby. All right, so Darrell was starting to say, we have a story... may or may not be true about Jackie Monahan.
Oh, yeah, we got
Wait.
here. I'll hand.
We have the punchline. You're going to say the punchline.
No.
It's one word.
Well, it's not really a punch. It's what she might have forgotten she said.
Oh, excuse me. It comes at the end of the story, and you're
wait
just
to
going to
hear
say
this.
that word
Okay.
when your time comes, because we know you're a seasoned actress and comedian.
Oh, yes.
So don't
you
look
can
at it
handle
yet.
Okay.
Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we want her to be ready to say it.
Oh,
So-
she'll
so-
say it.
But
Trust
we don't
me.
want to have to unfold. Why
It'll
can't
take
you
me
look
2
at it now?
seconds. to
No,
unfold
she's
it.
fast. She's good.
Okay, good. All right. So,
I've seen her in action.
all right, here we go.
Fine.
Jackie Monahan was always destined to be a comedian, as we found out on today's show.
This is true story.
Right. Although her teachers didn't always appreciate these gifts. One day in kindergarten, her teacher asked the class, "Kids, what does the mother chicken called a hen give us?" The class replied in unison,
Eggs.
The teacher smiled. "Very good. Now what does the round pink pig give us?" The students excitedly replied,
Bacon.
Pleased as punch, the teacher then asked, "Great. And what does the fat cow give us?" Before anyone else could answer, Jackie yelled from the back of the room,
Homework.
That's something you would have really said.
Yeah, for sure.
"We got indie pop coming into the studio to sing us out."
Well, he's going to sing us out.
Sing us out.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
sing.
You're
and he's
gonna
gonna
know
play.
this song.
This is amazing.
Okay.
Everybody,
Indie pop.
pop.
Indie pop.
I'm gonna do something new.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's going to get the
How
whole.
about this? Wow.
Maybe you can just lean in there.
Oh, here he is. Lean in,
there we
Jackie.
go.
You could fit in here. Get your head in here. Okay. There you are.
wow.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just out of school, like a real cool. Gotta dance like a fool. Got the message that I gotta be a wild one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a wild
one.
Gonna break it loose, gonna keep it moving wild. Gotta keep it swinging, baby. I'm a real wild child.
Visit DarrellandEd.com to find easy links to everything we do, including Funniest Thing. And as always, thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed and Jackie Monahan at CHOBO Studios.
Well, I'm just out of
What are we going to do?
Okay. Well, I'm just out of school, like a real cool. Gotta dance like a fool. Got the message that I gotta be a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one.
Gonna break it loose, gonna keep it moving wild, gonna keep it swinging, baby. I'm a real wild child. Woo! I'm a wild one. Woo!
Jazz hands.
Homework!
It ain't over till the fat cow gives homework.
The colostomy bag.